hefty boy. Look at this. This is a hefty boy. Hi there. My name is Claudia and I am back trying YouTube again. If this is your first time finding this channel, welcome. This is a very inconsistently updated channel. Sometimes it's a knitting podcast exclusively. Sometimes I upload a bullet journal video, and sometimes I disappear for 3 months. Most commonly, I disappear for months on end. But I've recently gotten really passionate about reading and like books and like refound like loving books for the first time since like before high school. So like I figured you know what, I'll incorporate this. This is just my fun. I'm just having fun on YouTube. You know, it's not a serious thing. But yeah, so this is my January TBR. I have 10 books that I pretty much randomly selected. Like I went on Goodreads to my like want to read playlist. List. Not a playlist. That's not how that works. My Goodreads to my like want to read list, and I random number generated and then counted out. And I did not film that entire process because like I did it in like mid-December because I was being overly confident. I was like, I'm gonna read all these in December. So it really was my December TBR that I decided halfway through December that is now January because I didn't read them. But anyway, I have 10 books to read, and yeah, let's start with, I guess, the ones I have here physically. So here physically, I have Oryx and Crake by Margaret Atwood, and as much as I have this physically, I just tried, like you can see, like I tried to start reading it, and sitting there and reading it was the dullest thing in the world, so I've started the audiobook today, and that's a lot better. So I'm enjoying the audiobook. It's basically sort of about like the end of the world / like post-apocalyptic with this man named Jimmy who also calls himself Snowman, and like the children of Crake, who I'm not entirely sure. From what I understand, it's all like genetic engineering happened and it went bad, which is not a surprise to any of us. And just like it switches back and forth between him in the past as a child and then Jimmy now after like everything's gone to shit. The audiobook is really good. The narrator's very dramatic, which is fine. Like I don't mind it too much. It makes it an interesting time. I will say when I started the audiobook, they played like music for the first few minutes, and I was really worried there was just gonna be some dramatic music in the background like the whole time, but there was not. So, but yeah, Oryx and Crake, I've already started. Next that I have physically is Mrs. Dalloway by Virginia Woolf. This is one that I read in high school. For school, obviously. I didn't just pick up Virginia Woolf as a 16-year-old and go, yes, this is what I want to read. And from what I remember, it follows a woman as she goes about her day, but since it is Virginia Woolf writing, it's very like meandering. She writes in a very like almost stream of consciousness, and like everything's like very all over the place. So it's just a book. It's a good book. I enjoyed it in high school. I want to see if I still enjoy it. I don't remember much of it though. Next that I have here physically is one that I don't own, but the library did, and I've already checked out and already started. It is The Child Thief by Brom. Just Brom. No, don't know if it's a first last name. And he is a hefty boy. Look at this. This is a hefty boy. Giant book. Like, giant book. But it is basically a modern adult, like, fantasy retelling of Peter Pan, where, from what I've gotten so far, Peter Pan essentially hunts down kids who have been mistreated, and because they are vulnerable, sort of recruits him for his army, is what I've gotten from it, both so far and from the description. And it's this really big book, and it has, which I find very fun, hold on, where, it has, like, at the front of each chapter, like, big illustrations, and, like, in the middle of it, they have, like, color illustrations of some of the characters. Like, and I think that's fun. I like when books do that. Like, look at her. Look at her. She's beautiful. She's having a great time. But yeah, it's a modern retelling of Peter Pan. I'm very excited about this one. Like, yeah, very excited about this one. Definitely. I love Peter Pan retellings. I remember when I was younger, I read the entire Peter and the Starcatchers, not Star Child, Peter and the Starcatchers series, and it was so good, and I loved it, and I just love it. Anything that's a fairy tale, any fairy tale retelling, I'm like, yes, this is what I want. But yeah, so that's the last of the ones that I have here physically. Out of the ones that I want to read that are obviously not here physically, I have A Court of Frost and Starlight by Sarah J. Maas. It is the novella at the end of the A Court of Thorns and Roses series. Reviews have said it's very much like a slice of life after everything that happened, and isn't really necessary to the series, but it's a fun filler, which is fine. I like the characters. The third book disappointed me a little bit, but I do like the characters, and I think it'll be a fun time. And I just like finishing out series. Next one is We Have Always Lived in the Castle by Shirley Jackson. She is the author who wrote The Lottery, that short story that everyone had to read in high school. Or I read it in high school. And it's basically a horror novel. It's a horror novel, and I'm not really entirely sure what it's about. The description is just, here I am, I live with my sister, and my family is dead. And okay, we'll go with it. But no, it's gonna be a fun, I also love horror. We're gonna enjoy it. Yeah. The next one that I am going to be reading this month is Carry On by Rainbow Rowell, which it's the Harry Potter parody sort of, but twist on Harry Potter essentially. Which for some reason, and I don't know why, I thought it was a graphic novel. I don't know why I thought it was a graphic novel. No one's told me it was. I haven't seen pictures implying it was. For some reason, I thought it was a graphic novel. It's not, apparently. But yeah, that one I am on hold for at the library, so as much as I'm saying it's January, it has a 6-week wait time, so if I cannot get it, but also A Court of Wings and Ruin had a 6-week wait time, and I got it in 5 days. So we'll see. I'm on hold for it. If it doesn't come off of hold by the end of January, then it's gonna be in February too. But it basically is follows Simon Snow, who's a chosen one, but bad at it. And I love that. So yeah, I'm gonna read that one. It's gay. I'm gay. We love the gays. The next book that I'm gonna read this month is Through the Woods by Emily Carroll, which is a graphic novel, and I didn't realize it was a graphic novel, which is weird because I know of Emily Carroll through her comics on Tumblr, but it still didn't connect to me. I was like, oh, she writes novels too. No, it's a graphic novel that's basically 5 short horror stories. She has this really cool art style that's very eerie and weird, and I like it. She's a fun time. The next one on my list is Vicious by V.E. Schwab. It's the first in the Villains series. And it's basically about these 2 people that go to school together and basically figure out how to make people have superpowers. And they're like, wow, what if we were villains? Which, yes, me too. Just for the drama of it all. I love a used to be friends and now we're enemies sort of thing. I love X-Men. I'm expecting Professor X Magneto type of history, chemistry type of thing. That's what I want. So we'll see. I've heard great things about it. Hopefully it lives up to its hype. The next book that I want to read is Reverie by Ryan LaSala. And from what the description gets, I'm a little bit confused entirely as to what it's about. From what I understand, this guy dies, or thinks he dies, and then he wakes up and everything's just a little bit off, and then the world keeps warping. So I don't know if it's there's alternate realities that are whooshing in, or I don't know. It's, yeah. Inception meets The Magicians is how they're describing it. I'm not familiar with Inceptions or The Magicians, so I don't know, but it sounds very good. It's about secret worlds and I don't know. I'm excited. And the next book on my list is I Hope You Get This Message by Farah Nazrishi. Naz makes more sense. And it's basically about these 3 kids, teens to young adults, I'm not really sure quite their age, that basically it comes up on the news that, hey, the world's ending in 7 days. And it follows these two guys and this girl as they like navigate all of that and like how they cope with that, and like existential crises abound, I'm sure. And one of them is gay. I know that much. That's probably how I found this. I love the gays. Have I mentioned I'm the gays? But yeah, so it's basically about the three of them like bonding and working through the last 7 days, and like I have amazing descriptions. I'm very descriptive in my vague sounds and my saying like exciting 12 times. Oh, and that was the last one. Okay. I don't know why they're in a different order on my phone, so I was like, Okay, but yeah, those are the 10 books that I'm planning on reading in the month of January. In January, I'm optimistic. We will see how it goes. Yeah, we will see how it goes. Hopefully I enjoy them. I will aim to do a like January wrap up at the end, and we'll see how it goes. I will also aim to upload like knitting content. As much as I know not everyone who comes across this video and wants to watch this video is going to be aiming for the knitting content. So, but yeah, anyway, thank you all so much for watching this. Feel free to like and subscribe if that's a thing you want to do. And follow me on Goodreads. I keep things very updated on there. It's very nice. All right. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.